Less than 24 hours after the White House launched a TikTok page, its videos, this may not be surprising.
So Trump and his team have launched an official White House account on TikTok, and it completely backfired on them, demanding the release of the Epstein files like Aaron Parnas, myself, and Quincy down here. In the most recent video, people in the comments are also putting the meme of JD Vance.
If you've ever tried posting something online only to instantly regret it when the comments turned savage, you'll know exactly what just happened to the White House. They put themselves on TikTok to connect with voters, but instead of winning likes, they got roasted non-stop with Epstein memes and immigration criticism. The trolling was so relentless, they basically handed over their message to the internet. Let's break down how that backfire happened so fast. Before we continue, if you appreciate this content, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe. It's free and it helps our channel grow. Thank you. Now back to the video. Imagine thinking a TikTok account will win over Gen Z and then watching it get hijacked before lunch. That's pretty much what just happened. The White House jumped on TikTok like a teenager discovering a new dance trend, convinced that a shiny account with official branding was the key to locking in young voters. The concept was simple. Get on the app everyone under 35 uses, post some relatable content, and watch the approval roll in. What they didn't plan for was how fast TikTok operates, or how little patience its users have for political experiments. The first posts went up, nothing wild, just the basic "hey, we're here" kind of introduction.
Immediately. Their comment sections are currently being filled with people putting photos of Gavin Newsom, slamming Trump,
Have been inundated with comments about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. But before we dive deeper, here is a really great quick recap of the entire fiasco from TikTok's own Harry Sisson.
or photos of Gavin Newsom, as I mentioned. On another video, Sari said Gavin Newsom is our voice. People are posting photos of Trump and Epstein.
Normally, when an influencer launches an account, the comments are full of hype, excitement, fans throwing heart emojis, and congratulations. But instead of that, this rollout turned into a pit stop on the highway of internet roasting. Within hours, the comment section wasn't about engaging with young voters or learning about policy. It was a full-on clown show. And the target wasn't the platform, it wasn't even the app. The target was Trump and everything connected to him. People flooded the videos calling him corrupt, clowning him for scandals, and even tossing praise at someone who wasn't even part of the launch, Gavin Newsom. It was like crashing your own party and finding everyone cheering for the other guy. The posts were supposed to make the government look approachable and modern. Instead, they got smothered by thousands of users gleefully pointing out every shady headline that's ever followed Grumpy Trumpy. To see just how absurd this looked, think about how TikTok usually works. A teenager posts their pet hamster dancing to some trending audio. The comments are wholesome, maybe a couple jokes, but overall, it's all love. Now swap that with the most powerful house in the country. They post their friendly intro hoping for digital fist bumps, and in return, they get a pile of Epstein memes and sarcastic questions about corruption. When a girl with a pet hamster gets more respect than the White House, that's when you know something went very wrong. The speed of it was brutal. The whole plan collapsed before lunch. TikTok doesn't operate like TV news where you can manage the message for days at a time. Memes on TikTok are like wildfire, and once a spark hits the comments, the flames can't be controlled. You're not faster than millions of anonymous accounts who live to troll. Think about it. The rollout wasn't even an hour old before it turned into a digital roast session. The modern fix for communication became a punching bag. And this wasn't gentle trolling either. It wasn't lighthearted teasing about dancing politicians or awkward hashtags. The trolling was harsh, direct, and mocking. The White House wanted to look relatable. Instead, it looked clueless, dropped in the middle of a crowd that spoke an entirely different language of irony and sarcasm. By the end of day one, the account's comment section had transformed from a space of official messaging to something closer to a meme battlefield. That right there is the real irony. The government spent serious energy building this digital outreach, only for TikTok users to flip it inside out in record time. If day one already felt like a roast, the next part was even worse. Because out of all the chaotic trolling, one meme rose above the rest, louder than anything else. And that meme revolved around one word: Epstein. What does dancing on TikTok and release the Epstein files have in common? The White House just found out the answer the hard way. Out of every insult, parody, and sarcastic jab that hit their shiny new page, nothing rose higher than the endless stream of Epstein spam. TikTok users didn't just mention it once. They filled the section wall to wall with demands, memes, and recycled conspiracy jokes. It wasn't about healthcare. It wasn't about the economy. It sure wasn't about climate policy. It was memes about Epstein and Grumpy Trumpy side by side in badly edited photos, looped endlessly until that became the only story visible. The account was intended to be relatable. Officials expected posts about student loans or jobs for young people to create useful conversations. Instead, the comment threads turned into an unbroken chant about files, secrets, planes, and who was connected to what. Any attempt to push a normal message drowned instantly under thousands of people chanting one name. If the White House dropped a 30-second clip about a new policy, the top comment under it was not "thanks for the update," but "release the files." Even worse, those comments weren't written politely. They came with ridiculous edits mashing Trump's face onto Epstein's body, absurd captions, and emojis stacked like weapons. The meme took such a strong hold that it stopped even being about the White House. Users started mocking die-hard MAGA accounts by labeling them Epsteiners. If you defended Trump in the comments, you weren't just another supporter anymore. You were branded like a meme character permanently attached to the scandal. That type of online rebranding is brutal. It sticks faster than any press statement. Once the app users agree on a nickname, that's your name forever. And for MAGA commenters, being called an Epsteiner cut worse than being called a troll. It instantly linked every defense of Trump to imagery people have been mocking online for years. This is the core rule of TikTok culture. Once a single narrative dominates, the rest of the feed doesn't matter. A viral joke operates like concrete. Pour it out in large numbers, and soon it hardens around whatever target it's aimed at. No amount of spin can chip it out once it sets. By the second day of activity, the White House wasn't running its account anymore. TikTok users were. The official videos appeared like little backdrops, while the real performance unfolded in the scroll of angry, mocking, and sarcastic remarks underneath. Then came the celebrity blowback, which made the situation worse. Influencers with massive younger audiences didn't cheer on the government entering TikTok. Instead, they used the chance to pile on. The immigration backlash grew stronger when famous names like Olivia Rodrigo and Jenna Ortega made comments that lined up with critics. Suddenly, this wasn't just a meme war happening among anonymous accounts. Now it had star power amplifying it, pulling more people in who might not have even cared before. The comment spam spread wider, louder, and harder to hide. That turned what was meant to be a gentle rollout into a cultural embarrassment. And that is exactly why people now throw around the phrase Epsteiner Central every time the page comes up. The name stuck because the meme became larger than the message. Once the app decides to weaponize humor, even a government account looks powerless. Now the question isn't just how badly this backfired, but whether any official account at all can survive once meme culture takes hold. If the White House couldn't last 24 hours without being rebranded, how can anyone believe politicians will ever come out on top in that arena? The real punishment here isn't trolling, it's distrust. And once you feed that fire by accident, there might not be any way out. Some disasters online can't be cleaned up. Once TikTok slaps you with a meme identity, you're not leading the conversation anymore. You're chasing it, stuck playing defense while the jokes just keep multiplying. That's exactly what happened here, and it shows how powerless even powerful figures look when the algorithm turns against them. So the real question for you is simple. Can politicians ever actually win on TikTok, or will the internet always troll them into irrelevance? Because in this era of meme warfare, maybe the smartest strategy isn't another rollout. Maybe it's knowing when not to log on.